Bonny local government. For some months now, we've been getting reports from there about activities of sea pirates, some reports of kidnappings, killings, and about 4 months ago, some Bonny people were taken during the burial. Until date, nothing has been heard. So last week Thursday there was a protest, and it's a week today. And some of the people who took part in that protest are telling us nothing has happened. The government is silent. What exactly is going on? So today in the studio, I have with me the person who should tell us exactly what the government is doing about it. Honorable Blessing Abiy Pepple. He is the member representing Bonny at the Rivers State House of Assembly. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, Enoh. Thank you very much.
All right. So, were you aware of the protest that took place last week, not just in Bonny, also in Port Harcourt?
Yes, I'm sufficiently aware of the protest that took place in Bonny and in Port Harcourt as well.
Okay. You're Bonny indigene, right?
Yes.
So, I hear this has been going on for a long time. Are you concerned?
Sincerely speaking, my heart is bleeding. My heart is bleeding because our people have suffered from the challenges of sea piracy and wanton killings, and that is not patriotic. That is not acceptable. Bonny local government has been a very peaceful local government. It has been a homogeneous local government with a very decent traditional system. And as a matter of fact, we have been living together without these consistent sea piracy challenges. But however it is, the reality on ground is that we have collectively spoken together across party lines that enough is enough. If you look at what happened in Bonny and Port Harcourt respectively, you can see that our youth came out in their number to show solidarity, to show support, calling on government at all levels to show commitment to end these wanton killings and sea piracy attacks. So I am in support of the protest because Section 41 of the 1999 Constitution guarantees access to lawful assembly. As a member representing the constituent, I came out on Thursday to address them. You may be aware that the River State Anti-Kidnap Law makes provisions for issues of sea piracy. What we need to do now as an assembly is to make amendment of that relevant section to ensure that there is going to be a severe penalty for sea piracy. Most importantly, something like a death penalty. If you look at what is happening, the assembly received the protest on Thursday, and once the House reconvenes, I'm going to make sure that the protest letter that emanated from the protest will be laid on the floor of the River State Assembly for us to look at issues on how to mitigate the challenges as an institution. I'm convinced I will do that on the floor of the House.
Oh, it sounds interesting what you will do, but would you say that you have been disconnected from, the real issues plaguing the people, that the things that perhaps makes them susceptible to this attacks? Because it's not once, it's not twice. It's been going on for a bit now.
I perfectly agree with you. If you look at the River State Neighborhood Watch that we passed, that Neighborhood Watch is supposed to complement the efforts and commitment of security agencies across the state. You are aware that that program started with training, but the federal government of Nigeria had to stop the training. This platform is important for me to say that federal government of Nigeria should have a common security synergy with the River State government so that the neighborhood security watch can be effective to support manpower in terms of policing the coastal communities and even the urban areas. So I think that the River State government, under His Excellency Nyesom Wike, has put in place that neighborhood watch, seeing that there could be challenges in future. So if we have that neighborhood watch, it will help complement manpower support for the security agencies. So I think that collaboration between federal government and River State government in terms of security architecture of the state is very critical and fundamental.
Okay, you know that some months, years ago, the governor donated some gunboats as part of, I think, Operation Sting, and I know that part of their responsibility is to man the waterways. Would you say that has been effective?
Honestly, I don't think it's not effective, because the governor has done his own part. The security agencies have this responsibility to ensure that the Bonny Port Harcourt Sea route is policed 24 hours. Unfortunately, that is not done. But I like to commend the Marine Police in Bonny local government. They are doing their best. But in terms of adequate and sufficient policing of the waterways, I don't think the donation of the gunboat to security agencies have been utilized optimally and maximally across that sea route. Again, just recently, the local government chairman procured a gunboat to support the activities of the security agencies on that same route, but that's not enough. We need at least 7 gunboats. Across the Bonny Port Harcourt Sea route, we need to have 5. In our coastal communities, we need additional 2 to do sustainable surveillance, to be able to give us sufficient results. So I think that the federal government, again, need to collaborate with the River State government in terms of support. That will go a long way to police the waterways and the communities where they have the investment, like the Nigerian LNG, SPDC, and ExxonMobil. That alone cannot be left in the hands of a local government chairman.
Yeah,
that alone cannot be left in the hands of River State government. There must be synergy at all tiers of government.
Yeah, but these people you mentioned, they don't be mistakes. If you have a good relationship with them, can't you work out something in the interim while waiting for the federal government? Because, I mean, you've mentioned the federal government 3 times, but we're the people. We are the people that get into the boats from here and go to Bonny. The federal government doesn't. So isn't that something that can be done in the interim while we wait for the collaboration to be smooth or smoothing out?
At the moment, there are a lot of security engagements. As I speak to you, in fact, I was on another one last night, and I am sure that in the nearest few days, there will be a sustainable approach that will mitigate the challenges, pending when there will be a sustainable collaboration.
Okay. So do you think that there's something that's going on that is making the sea pirates focus in that zone?
If you look at the investments, the federal government investment in Bonny local government, it attracts a lot of economic and social services across Port Harcourt Bonny. And I think specifically that before the advent of the NLNG and other multinational companies, we don't used to have this kind of consistent attacks. So now that there are huge investments, it attracts people to, put their machineries across the waterways. But I think that with the engagement of yesterday and day before yesterday, the approach will be so systematic to be able to confront the immediate challenges.
Okay, so Bonny local government borders how many other local governments?
Gokana,
okay,
Andoni, and some part of Opobo.
Okay, so are you having conversations with those local government as well?
As I speak to you, there's another engagement on Friday that will involve critical stakeholders from Opobo, Andoni, and part of Okrika in Port Harcourt. That engagement is to have a common synergy to police the Bonny Port Harcourt Sea route. That engagement, I cannot tell you now, but I'm sure that the outcome will be made public by the 2 prominent local government chairmen, the Bonny local government chairman and Andoni local government chairman. There is an engagement that is going on. I may not be able to say that under the circumstance, but I can assure you that our people are committed, following the fact that we need to do something immediately.
All right, 0817-923-0002, 0817-923-0003, 0817-923-0009. Now you've got questions. The member representing Bonny in the River State House Assembly, Blessing Abiye Pepple, he's here, and he'll take the questions. Good morning.
Good morning.
Yes, good morning.
Good morning, Honorable Chairman. My question is, 1, how much is gunboat? And I don't really understand why sometimes people throw blame game on security. Talking about the federal government. Will the federal government come to our backyard to come and secure our backyard for us? We have the local government chairman. What are they doing? We have our honorable. What has he done? Our governor is going about donating money. How much is the gun boot that they cannot purchase that same 7 gun boots our honorable chairman is talking about? That we want federal government to come and purchase for us, that are facing a very high security challenge. We should know our part in our locality. We should not be throwing on blind games. Doesn't work that way, you know. Thank you so much. That's my contribution.
All right, thank you. He'll respond to that later. Let's take more calls. Good morning.
Hello?
Good morning.
Good morning.
Your Nigerian info.
Yeah, someone from Port Harcourt.
All right. You have a question?
Hello?
Yes, you have a question.
Yes.
Please go on.
This viruses thing has been going on for quite a long time. Now I'd like to ask, what has the king been doing? Bonny has the king forgot. What has he been doing? People have been dying on that street. Bonny people have been dying. Please let the honorable tell us.
No, the honorable is not the king, but hold on. What do you think the king can do? Is it evoking the traditional institution, the gods?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
All right.
Because I could remember at the past kings, one day, okay, the one that this president was, if he was to be alive, this nonsense will not be happening in Bonny. I'm a Bonny man, I know what I'm saying.
All right, thank you. We'll get to that as well. Good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Yes, I am Mr. Bright calling you from Rumibo.
All right.
To my honorable in the studio, some of the things he has said, I do not quite agree with him. We just have a state government. The essence of designing these three types of government is for coordination of mechanism. What is the security plan, security architecture of Bonny local government area that the current situation has overwhelmed before we want to talk about states?
Okay.
What is the security architecture regarding the waterways in River State that River State government has put in place that is overwhelmed by the situation? Before we want to call on federal government, it is the responsibility of River State government to design how we our waterways in the state will be policed before we want to talk about federal government. Gunboat is a tool, but what is the system on ground that the gunboat is put into? It is not the duty of federal government to come in at this moment. It is even the duty of River State government to go and meet federal government if it's overwhelmed. Let's stop doing this blame game. It's not working.
All right, thank you for calling. So you want to respond? Let's start with the king. I mean, you're there. You know how that works. Would you, like the caller, also want him to invoke some traditional, powers to do something about this situation?
Yes, His Majesty the King and Bonny Council of Chiefs, they are working in synergy to ensure that we nip all these challenges on the board. I'd like to commend the Amenable of Bonny. I'd like to commend the Bonny Chiefs Council, the title citizens. I'm aware the strategic commitment they are showing. I'm also aware that they're not government, but I understand the engagement so far. I may not be able to make those engagements publicly, but I can assure you that the traditional institutions are working tirelessly hard because they are concerned. Just yesterday, His Majesty the King introduced another route of transportation, the Asimini transport system. That's a brainchild of the King. People cannot travel from Port Harcourt to Bonny, and His Majesty initiated that scheme and is running. Yesterday it was test run and it was very efficient and it's going on fine. Now, in terms of our brother who just said this blame game needs to be over, I'd like to let him know that the River State Governor, Nyesom Ezebonwike, is not the appointing officer of any security agency in River State. The governor can tell Commissioner for Police to do this, and Mr. Commissioner can decide to take directive from the federal government. You can work out your own security structure, your security architecture, but the police needs approval from federal government to do your bidding. It's not all of this we need to make public. The local government chairman can tell the commanding officer of Nigerian Navy to go to this place to find out what is going on there. The man may wish to get clearance from his boss. So even you, as a local government chairman, you don't control security agencies. Even as a governor, you don't control. The governor does not control the police. The governor does not control the army. The governor does not control the navy. The only thing the governor can do is to provide logistic support, and that's exactly what the local government chairman is doing at the local government level. So that synergy, I said, that collaboration, I said, is very fundamental. Yes, I agree. He said, okay, if you're overwhelmed, let the River State government go to federal government. Yes, I agree. It can come pari passu. But what is more important is that there must be sustainable security collaboration to end this unfortunate separacy along the Bonny protocol route.
You also asked about if there was a security plan. You know, it's structured on ground that you people have followed. I mean, you in government, and you know it's not working or it's not as effective as you want it to be, and then you want help from outside.
Yes, we have a security plan. If you look at the route, you see that the existing gunboats are stationed at strategic areas. Do you understand? From Port Harcourt to Bonny, you see that there are some gunboats that are stationed permanently. You see some too that are patrolling, but they are not enough. They are not enough. Do you understand? They are not enough to curb the entire axis that are very dangerous. So that is where that support needs to come in.
All right. Let's take some more calls. 0817-923-0002. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Yeah, my name is Andy, and I'm calling you from my 3.
All right.
Yeah, please, I want to just go straight to ask a question. Yes, we know that the federal government has failed. No doubt about it. And if you ask me also, the state has failed. I want to ask your guest there, is there anything called constituency funds? What has he himself, as the representative in the River State House of Assembly, what has he done with the constituency funds? That's what we want to know. Thank you very much.
All right. Let's talk about that.
Thank you so much, my brother. First and foremost, in 2017, I had a privilege to nominate constituency project, Bonny Fire Station. That project, as I'm talking to you, is on ground. That is the first independent emergency response center in Nigeria, in Bonny local government. I challenge you, consult the 774.
Before you challenge, what does it do? What's the function?
The function of the fire station is to provide emergency support for our constituency.
Oh, fire station in Bonny?
In Bonny, yes. Okay. That was the project I nominated in 2017. As I speak to you, that project has been completed, awaiting commissioning. In 2018, the His Excellency graciously gave approval for honorable members to make nomination for constituency project for 2018. We're doing the remodeling of Agaja Market. That project will be commissioned by March. Apart from that, I run a comprehensive scholarship program from nursery, primary, secondary, university, and up to master's degree across my constituent. I have sent youths from my constituent to offshore marine training. Today, by the grace of God, many of them are working. I have provided free WAEC, free JAMB, and GC for members of my constituent. I'm sure many of them are in various universities studying. So the legacies of IBA Blessing Pepple is clear for all to see. You can do your course and call me back.
Hold on, I heard about this last part you talked about. It's been on for some years, right?
Yes.
Scholarship thing.
Scholarship, yes. I've been running scholarship for the past 5 years now. Okay. Many of them have graduated, and some are still in the university. Across polytechnics, primary, secondary school, their records are there.
All right.
And by the end of this month, I am going to pay 400 Bonny students annual bursary payment. I do stipends of bursary for students of Bonny extraction annually, and by the end of January, the second phase of the bursary scheme for 400 students will be paid by end of this month. So the legacies are clear. That is outside my legislative functions, but these are sacrifices and commitment we need to make to grow our people, and particularly the youths.
Okay, so the focus this morning though is on security. Let's get to it. Good morning.
Yes, hello, good morning.
Yeah, let's hear you.
Yes, my name is Enoh Samuel. I'm calling you from Omuma. You know, I greet your guest in the studio. For me, I think the security issue is a federal government issue. Why do I say so? Just like he said there, neither the governor or the local government chairman has power or commanding power over the security. We should be able to be summoning the police, the naval commanders, and the naval commander especially, who is in charge of the waterways. Bonny has a very is a productive area to the federal government. If you go there, you see LNG, Mobile, and Shell. These people are paying billions of naira to federal government every year. And we are talking about gunboats and security in waterways. It's a simple, very simple matter, a very simple matter that the federal government can, liaise with the state government and the local government, and it to be, to be a thing of the past. For the architecture, for the way to, design it, you can design a convoy movement. You can have a timing from Port Harcourt to Bonny. You have a particular period when the people will move and they go back and they will be escorted by gunboats and all of that. And we have a patrol. We also should talk about employment to the youth. These people who are doing these things are still the Rivers indigenes, are still Bonny indigenes. Are they employed? Are they engaged? These are the areas we should also look at. That's my take this morning. Have a nice day.
Thank you, Samuel. Good morning. He talked about the Marine Police. I'm wondering, have you ever, the House members, have you had that conversation with the Marine Police?
Yes, the Bonny Police in Bonny, they are doing extremely well. I must commend the officer in charge. I must commend him. I have never been a sycophant in my life, and I've been a comrade. And when I say I commend the Marine Police in Bonny local government, I'm not talking out of proportion. The commitment of men and officers of the Marine Police in Bonny local government need to be saluted, because I have implicit confidence in them. What would have happened would have been so devastating if not for the gallant commitment that they have shown and demonstrated. So I think the Marine Police need more support. They need more support, and I'm sure, like the last speaker, like what he said, that collaboration is key and that support is eminent. So when they get that support at all tiers of government, I'm sure that this thing will be a thing of the past.
All right, Tony is saying that why not put pressure on the federal government to complete the Bonny Road so that all this will end? I'm from Nembe in Bayelsa State. The same happened to us before the Nembe Road was completed. What's going on with that one?
To the glory of God, the Nigerian Liquefied Natural Gas, NLNG, and federal government had an agreement to embark on that project. Federal government was supposed to bring 50% and the Nigerian LNG to do counterpart funding of 50%. As I speak to you, the Nigerian LNG has taken over the 100%, and the project is ongoing. The project is going on in a very, very progressive manner. I'm sure that from now to 2024, that project will be commissioned. I am optimistic that that project will see the light of the day, because the private sector initiative is more beneficiary, and I'm sure that with what we have seen so far, particularly last December, I'm sure that in less than 3 years, that project will be commissioned.
All right, we have Dan here saying, please ask your guests, why can't NLNG, Mobile and Shell purchase the said gunboats? Please, the King of Bonny is not sincere to his people, because if he is, he would have synergized with the multinationals to even procure the houseboats, the NLNG's houseboat. Ask your guest, how does he go to Bonny?
At the moment, there is an engagement that is ongoing that will involve the IOCs, the traditional institutions and government at the local level. I'll be able to say that after the outcome of that engagement, we'll be able to make a pronouncement. But like I said, we are not waiting for the federal government. We've started our own engagement. But this internal mechanism will be in place shortly, where stakeholders, both traditional government and the companies operating within our constituency, will sit down and will articulate a sustainable temporary measure before further support from the federal government.
All right.
I'm sure that engagement is going to be soon.
Someone says they're just talking engagement, no positive results. Another one says, I disagree with your guest that all the governor can do is donate a gunboat. The governor can position a C4I on that route. When the past governor introduced that security architecture, he was not also in charge of the police. Posterity sent that in. The day Rivers State government can give the contract to a private security firm to manage that waterway, they will do a better job than police and Navy combined. The FG blame is nonsense. The government refused to think. Obina sent that from Imigbo. If the governor cannot give order to security officers, who order the army to station at Oyibo Express Junction? Kenneth Kelechi. Kenneth, the army officers, they answer to their superiors, so there might have been some conversations, then the superior officer would give that order. The governor cannot give that order. Honorable guest, I want to know when, from the honorable guest, if the, okay, no, that's not part of it. That's not part of it. It's annoying when both local government chairmen and state governments come on air and tell us that this so security function is on the federal government. The security vote given to local government and state government, what is it for? Let them stop the blame game and do their job. That's Joe. Rivers State, these Rivers people are hypocrites, that's what Kay says. Who sent security operatives to Igbo? Federal government. Till today, some shops are still closed, yet the governor doesn't control security. During lockdown, BK openly ordered to come down from a vehicle, yet he doesn't control security. When it comes to declaring curfew, he can order security agencies, yet he doesn't control security. In the past, pirate attacks would increase. Stakeholders would step up action and do some knee-jerk reaction which drives out the pirates. For a while, we enjoy peace and then we drop our guard, and even the security services deviate and even start extortion schemes. Then the pirates return after a few years and the cycle starts again. Just like how we are watching us back in various local government areas deviating from their early success stories. We must stop short-term security termisms. Okay, text sent that in. Oh, someone was asking, how do you get to Bonny?
There are private sectors that have their services how to get to Bonny. Private sectors. And the predominant one is the Bonny Billing jetty that was just recently reconstructed by His Excellency the Governor of Rivers State. We still have other private jetties like the Tourist Beach where you can hire a boat and.
Is that Tourist Beach still functioning? Last time when there was in a sorry state. You haven't been there in a while.
No, it's operational. Yes, it's functional. It's operational. You can hire a boat from there and ferry yourself to Bonny. Then there are companies like the NLNG, they have their own boats that convey the staff and guests to Bonny as well.
Some would have thought, the person was asking how you get to Bonny, but some would have thought that by now would have had multiple of those NLNG boats carry people instead of the small things that go on the river and, rock you from side to side.
Like I said in my opening remark, His Majesty the King has initiated one, the Assembly Line, and that's very unique.
How many boats are there?
At the moment, they are doing their test running. At the moment, I'm sure that before the end of the first quarter of this year, it will take a full-scale engagement. So I'm optimistic that by the special grace of God, all these challenges will be thing of the past.
All right. That commercial has to play now. Still talking with Blessing Abiye Pepple, member representing Bonny at the River State House Assembly. Stay tuned.
You are tuned in to 92.3 Nigeria Info.
We crossfire in the morning. Get into the midday dialogue and tell you about the hard facts, and then let's talk into the chat station. All for you on 92.3 Nigeria Info. We crossfire in the morning. Get into the midday dialogue and tell you about the hard facts, and then let's talk into the chat station. All for you on 92.3 Nigeria Info. We crossfire in the morning. Get into the midday dialogue and tell you about the hard facts, and then let's talk into the chat station. All for you on 92.3 Nigeria Info. We crossfire in the morning. Get into the midday dialogue and tell you about the hard facts, and then let's talk into the chat station. All for you on 92.3 Nigeria Info. We crossfire in the morning. Get into the midday dialogue and tell you about the hard facts, and then let's talk into the chat station. All for you on 92.3 Nigeria Info. We crossfire in the morning. Get into the midday dialogue and tell you about the hard facts, and then let's talk into the chat station. All for you on 92.3 Nigeria Info. We crossfire in the morning. Get into the midday dialogue and tell you about the hard facts, and then let's talk into the chat station. All for you on 92.3 Nigeria Info. We crossfire in the morning. Get into the midday dialogue and tell you about the hard facts, and then let's talk into the chat station. All for you on 92.3 Nigeria Info. We crossfire in the morning. Get into the midday dialogue and tell you about the hard facts, and then let's talk into the chat station. All for you on 92.3 Nigeria Info. We crossfire in the morning. Get into the midday dialogue and tell you about the hard facts, and then let's talk into the chat station. All for you on 92.3.
Connect with your customers. Advertise on 92.3 Nigeria Info. Visit our downtown office at Shop 9, Mediatrix of All Gracies Plaza, opposite FIRS, Stadium Road, Port Harcourt, and book your commercials. Call 0817 001 8162. That is 0817 001 8162. And let us connect you to your customers. Bonny people in Bonny and here at in Port Harcourt, where they went to the State Assembly, they're saying that they're still not satisfied with what seems to be a deafening silence from the government side, and that's why we have Honorable Blessing Abiye Pepple here. He's representing Bonny at the River State House Assembly. Thank you for your time. Many of the respondents are not very pleased about how the security issue is still prevailing even after what happened last week and what has happened. After the attack, the one that happened I think last week Tuesday, there have been several attacks even till up until yesterday. Are you aware?
That of yesterday was not correct, but day for yesterday, they've been apprehended. As I'm talking to you, they're under the police custody.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. So someone asked the question earlier, and another person wants you to answer that. How do you go to Bonny?
Yes, I go to Bonny through an LNG boat, sometimes through the tourist beach. But that does not stop me from speaking for my people. That does not stop me from ensuring that my people are safe. If you're not privileged to have an LNG boat, does not mean that your life is not important. The life of my people, they're important. We must protect them anywhere they are, whether they're in the creeks or on the land, anywhere. Our duty as government is to ensure that the lives and properties of our people are protected. So irrespective of that, I am sure that our commitment to ensure that we need this on the board will not be compromised.
Interesting. For those who have been affected, I know that some are personal effects, some are business people. Have you tried to reach out to them, find out those who lost, who lost their wares, and maybe try to give them some, relief?
As I speak to you, we've made tremendous progress in that regard. Okay. We have substantial evidence with what happened on the 12th of September. In fact, let me tell you, I was a victim of that circumstance. In fact, on the 12th of September...
You were at the burial?
Yes, I was a liberator myself and the local government chairman, the PDP chairman, the leader of the Bonny Legislative Assembly, other councillors, and I. I narrowly escaped. I was a victim. You can't cry more than the bereaved. I won't tell you what we're doing, but as I speak to you, we have substantial evidence to show. But let's leave that, But we're not sleeping.
But the people who are taking, no one has heard anything till now.
Let me not say about that, but
Okay.
no problem.
All
Just be rest assured that we're working.
We're waiting. We are waiting.
Yes.
So the gunboat given to the police are not used by the public. They're used to serve private bodies and companies, the high and mighty, neglecting the masses, who in turn pay heavily to enable them service the gunboat. Samuel the Psalmist, are you aware of this? And this is not the first time we're hearing this, by the way, that the gunboats are there, but they're used by private individuals. Are you aware of this?
Under the circumstance, I don't think I can speak on that.
Would you look into it?
Yes, it's part of what we're doing. It's part of the commitment we're doing. We want to find out where are these boats? Why are they not utilized optimally and maximally? But under the circumstance, I can't speak on that now. But after this engagement, we'll be able to take a position on that.
Okay, all right. Let the Honorable tell us the reason for the insecurity, whose attention they're seeking, and what he thinks will bring solution. Yeah. What's the reason? What do you think is responsible for this happening repeatedly now?
I think it's sabotage, and secondly, it's unfortunate. It's very unfortunate. Clearly, Donald Ifua is someone very well. Dean Allison, I'm very close to him. 6th of December, when I came out from the past, we were talking about 15 minutes. In fact, he went to my house in Bonny. The incident of January, I've not recovered from it. We are going to immortalize Donald and the so I speak. Sabotage, interest. That's the basis, the thing. If not, why are you engaging people who wasn't?
What would be certain thing to say? We're having a work, it's security, maybe the police, we're working, with the law of mess and arms. How do you think, what would be a solution to this?
The solution, I think, is first of all, and what is reality? We must get adequate men and support to police in new ways. What has more support in terms of men, officers, and men. So these are important. I don't think any of men can do it alone. That's important for us to organize our
Someone is asking, why are there so many unions in the Bonny maritime sector? What's that?
Well, I'm aware of the maritime association. Other unions working together, but we want to do verification now. Profile. We want to profile every member, and we want to have the details. We want to get security agents to profile these groups so that people to know it. So that if you have a sabotage, we will know.
All right, I'll take a phone calls and we'll wrap this up. Good morning.
Good morning.
Morning, sir.
My name is Liko.
Okay.
The Honorable Member has not about yesterday, but here is the decision to do in court. So we respond. By a clock no more. After is really very well for people. And you're telling us the company cannot be used, and they're asking questions that you cannot answer. When think people for kind of like to represent us, give us information. Cities died in Bonny last year. No comment. See today. People died in Bonny last year. They said it's COVID-19. No comment. See today. And you're still telling us that you don't have rights to talk. If you don't have rights to talk, resign. Cities cannot represent us well. Resign.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you for calling. You want to respond to that? Okay.
Let me respond to him. Firstly, the responsibility of a lawmaker is clear. 1, representation. 2, oversight function. And 3, lawmaking. He may not be aware that in 2020, I sponsored the River State Waterways Bill. He's not aware.
What's that about?
It's part of policing the waterways, particularly the coastal areas. After the last attack in 2020, I sponsored a motion on the floor of the House about the policing of the waterways as well. The records are there.
So what's happened to that bill? What's happened now?
No, it's efficient. But what we're trying to do now is to amend some sections. Because of the obvious reality, we need to amend some sections to accommodate the present reality. So in terms of representation, I think I am efficient. So my dear brother, please get the facts clear. It's not the issue of, you don't need to, yes, all of us were provoked, including my humble self. But if you check my records, you know that there are a lot of legislative commitment that we have done with regard to these circumstances.
Someone is asking, what is the role of the Navy in all of this?
The role of the Navy, for me, is to complement security support across the coastal communities in Rivers State.
And how's that going?
But I think that we must step up the game. That's the voice of everyone. We need to step up the game. And the only way we can step up the game is to have this sustainable synergy at all tiers of government. If we have that synergy in the nearest future, I'm sure that all these things will be a thing of the past.
Someone is saying that there are no controls in the maritime sector whatsoever. They have faulty engines, they don't have life vest, or what they have is, just something funny, no safety. He can go on and on.
Yes, I perfectly agree with him. That is why the profiling is very important. We need to now step in as government to ensure that we profile every boat owner to certify their engines and all of the things he has mentioned. It is very, very important. Enough is enough.
I know that you're going to find people whose boats are not up to speed. Are you going to support them financially? Is there something? Because this is how it starts. We're going to profile them, then people lose their jobs, then they go crazy. What are you going to do to help the people who will fall short and who are legit?
Well, under the circumstance, I don't think I will make any statement on that, what we're going to do thereafter. I'm sure that that stakeholders' engagement will be able to let us know what to do. If you're not fit to apply the waterways, we'll know what to do. But I think for me, if you're not fit, you step aside, because you can't compromise lives and properties of people. If you're not competent enough, if your boat engines are not certified enough to apply the Bonny waterways, please step aside. Enough is enough. People can continue to die. Properties, no. We must face the obvious reality. And the obvious reality is for us to do the needful. And that time is now.
All right, so what's the final message to your people? Because, I'm reading some messages here. Some I cannot read. What is the message to them in the interim before the engagements start to, kick in? The results, the visible results, the positive results. What is your message to your people?
Just to ask them to have abiding faith in God and be rest assured that things will, their yearnings and aspirations by the grace of God will be met.
They didn't vote in God.
No, we are Christians. Everything we are doing will tailor it towards God. Well, as we're working, it is only God that perfect our commitment. So I'm asking them to continue to have abiding faith in government and God in particular.
All right. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much,
for your time.
I appreciate it.
All right, so that's a wrap this morning. Thank you. Have faith in the government and have faith in God. We'll keep our eyes on Bonny because we're very concerned as well. Thank you for your time. My name is Enoh Ogbevire. Good morning.
We connect you.